Hey Talents, so let's continue work on the snake game, but let's make it a bit, I want to change the way I work with it a bit, so to make it work a bit better. So what I really want is to have like a square for now, a green square to show the snake, and so just work on the game flow itself. So I'll just go back to Illustrator for a second, and I just, instead of having of this nice part of the snake, I just want to have a green square. And for that I really just need to make a copy of this artboard. So let's take this one, for example. And it actually thinks this part of the snake is a part of the artboard, but it doesn't really matter. I'll just take all of it, take this, put it inside, just put it on the whole square, and I'll use it. Okay, so just save it and export screens, and do it a bit differently. So first I'll clear selection, I'll take this one and just put it as a generic snake part. Okay, and I'll export it, and I'll have it here, and I'll use it in Unity right here. And let's just here, instead of all this part for now, I can just put this as sprite, and you know what, just for now, just change this to be this one. Okay, I'll take this and just drag it here. Okay, so just a square. So let's say that the snake part, this is the snake part, and the snake itself has a direction, right? So I'm going to build the whole snake right now. So snake part is nice, but snake part is basically just a part of the snake, and I can use it as a prefab. So I'll just put it inside the prefabs, and this should have, right, again, this should have the image here. So maybe okay, I have the snake part, and here I'll just use this image. Okay, and I'll save it, and I'll make sure that this prefab is apply all. Okay, fall outside the screen, and I'll just apply it all. So basically now this prefab is this part. So okay, I have the snake part, but what I really want to use is the snake. So let's create another object for the snake, and I'm wondering, you know what, I'll just create an empty one. I'll call it snake, and I'll have a script called the snake. So the snake will have, first of all, let me put all the scripts inside the script folder, just for comfortability. So the snake is the logic, right? Oh, so let's do it. So we want the snake. So then what's actually build the snake? The snake is a lot of snake parts, and each part is on its own place. Okay, so we have here the snake, and we have the snake part, and we're going to actually use the snake part. Okay, so we have here the snake part, and snake part actually has you can think of it as a position, but better than that, we can use like X and Y. Okay, like the exact position. So I'll just do it for now. I'll put it like public, which is probably not the best way. Public int, and I'll call it X index and a Y index. And you know what? I should actually use private for that. X index and Y index, and use properties as before. Okay, because again, it's something that needs to update along. So private int X index and Y index, and I'll use a public X index, and I'll do get return X index, public, of course, int, and set, which will change X index to value. And let's do the same for the Y, and Y, and I forgot this one. Okay, great. So we have the X index and the Y index, and they are getting updated. So now I can update them for outside, and maybe I should handle the way it changes, right? So basically, I want to change the position according to the X index and the Y index. So I'll just do here so if this has changed, so update position. But let's do something even more sophisticated. I want to make sure that there has actually been a change. So how will we do that? So let's check that the value is actually different than the last value of X index. Okay, so let's check that the value is actually different than the last index, and only in that case we'll change it. And we can actually use here a print to change it, to log it, but we wouldn't use it for now. But I can do the same for here, for the Y index. So value is different than the Y index, and only in this case I will actually do two things: change it and update. So to update it, let's do a handle change in position. So of course I don't have this function yet, but I'll create it. So look, if I look at this, okay, I have here the hammer, and show introduce variable. No, so I don't want something like this, but I will like to create a method handle change position. Here it is, and I would like to put it a bit lower, so I'll put it after the update here. So what we want to do is change here the position, and how would we do so? So we have the transform.position and this is the vector, so we just put in new vector 3, and we put the Z, I believe, in 0. No, this is the Y. So let's start with X. So X is actually equal X. So X will be 0. It's great, but we want another like half. So 0.5. Okay, and then let's do the same with the Y. Okay, so it's not X. Obviously, it's X index, and this is the Y index. Plus 0.5, and I believe I can just use 0 for F, or I can use the last position. Never mind, this should work okay. So this will put it in the middle, and let's test it. So we have here the part, right? Snake part, and we want the snake to handle all its parts. So to just test it. So okay, I need a list to hold all the parts, so I'll just use it as I use serial field for now, serialized field, and I'll call it the snake parts, and I'll do a list. So list of snake parts, and I'll call it parts, and I'll do equal to new list. Now I think because it's serial field, I can also update it from the from Unity, and we'll have a look. And so here in Unity, okay, we have the snake path from before, and we have the snake, and it has here like a place for the list of the paths, right? And what will happen if I'll create a few paths? So I have in the snake path, I can just Control D to create 3 of them. Can maybe move the snake up here, and let's just let the snake have the reference to the snake path. So how will we do it? We just add 3 here, and just put these inside. Okay, so these are the 3, and okay, and so this is just a reference. We can't really do anything with them, but we can do it through the code. So let's just say that for the code, I'm saying like for each one of them on the start. So okay, let's just add here a void handle path update, and we can handle it later. Okay, so handle path updates, and for each snake path sp in path. So let's say okay, so let's say something like that. So sp dot xindex equals plus equals 1. Or let's say we'll give it like int temp x equals 2, or equal minus 2. So sp.xindex equals temp x plus plus. So this we just put them in a row, and let's just do temp y equals 0, and I'll just do sp dot y index, and this is really just for testing, equals temp y. Great. So let's say I want to update this one each time, right? So, and maybe okay, maybe I'll pass the temp x here. So int temp x. Okay, and in update I'll do if input dot get key down, and let's use the key code for space. Then I'll do a handle path update, and I'll start with and I'm passing in the temp x. So let's start with temp x, and because I'm progressing it, let's start it by -4. Okay, so now I'll have like the temp x from here and the temp y, and this is actually, it's not good that it's starting from 4 because I want to use it again and again. So I'll just put here int temp x, and temp x will be equal to -4, and I'll use here, I'll pass the temp x plus 1 plus plus. So it will advance and change every time I press the space. So let's see if it works as I expected. And I'll just run it and have a look. So I'll just press the space for the first time, and you see it has here, it's from like -4, -3, -2, and I press space again, go like this, another space, And it's kind of showing us that yes, he knows how to change the position of the parse. Now I actually want this to happen every time, right? So I can use a coroutine. So let's use coroutine. So we want something that will call this to update each step, right? So I'll call it like this. Let's think about it. So I need a coroutine. So coroutine's I enumerator function and handle next move, next snake move, and we can use that, right? So we have an enumerator, and let's pass in the delay. So float a delay, and we want to create a delay. So, and I'll start here by start, and okay, this is a good opportunity to use the ChatGPT because I don't exactly remember how to use an enumerator. So how to use a coroutine that executes every delay. Let's see how we can handle this. Okay, so he said execute repeatedly, define a method, blah blah blah, create a coroutine that execute. Okay, so this is the delay, and while true, call my method and say wait for seconds. This is actually pretty good. This is exactly what we want, and we want to repeat method, and we give it the delay. This is actually nice. Okay, I love it. And here we can have the stop coroutine. I'm not sure, by the way, this is correct. I mean, what did he need the delay here, but this doesn't matter. So let's start with this. So if I'll just copy the code here, and I'll go here, and we have here the coroutine. Okay, so let's just make the differences. So right through, which is like an endless loop, while true, and we want to call the method, and the method is a handle path update with and let's do it the same way we did here. So tempx and plus plus at the beginning. Okay, and I want it to wait for the delay. So he'll return a new wait delay. So it will wait for the delay I'll give it. And the good thing about giving the delay here is that I can actually change it later. Okay, and if I'll change it, like the game should become faster and faster each time, so I can change the delay. And this is great. So I have this. I don't need this reference anymore, and I'll just need to call it. And I don't need this for now. I just put in comments. So for start, I will do the other code it showed me. Show how to call it. And this is for 2 seconds. 2 seconds is a bit much. Let's do it for 0.8. And the repeat method is, of course, handle next snake move. Okay, and this one actually looks great. So let's have a look. Let's go back to Unity and run it. And now without a question space, it just goes, right? And go to the right. Now, let's say I want to change that. So okay. So let's think of it. So for each one of them, I'm changing the value. But what is interesting in the snake? So the first part, the head, is like the one that changed it, and everyone after that takes the location of the last. That's the last one, right? So I'm going for a snake part, going from the first index to the last index, and so I'm doing for each. This is probably not the best way. unless I work it, so this one will go from the beginning to the end. And if I'm, this is kind of fun, because if I'm relating to the end, to the last part of the snake, as the head, and put the head in the last part, it will actually work better. Okay, and this is why, because I can always, okay, let's do this in a loop. So for let's do it as an as a loop like this. But actually, if I do it on for with index, it will go for each one each time. You know what? I'll just do it like this. So for int equals, and I'll take the last part. So last part is the size here, right? The size of parse. So it's actually parse dot count, and so int I equals part dot count in the place count and -1. I believe this is good, and I is larger than 0 because we don't want to handle the last part. And we want actually I to increase, so I++. So and now the snake part, so snake part sp would be equal to parse in I. That's great. And now for each for the part, I want the part to okay. I want actually each part to take the last position of the last part, so of the next part. So and we start from the last one. No, so it's actually minus here. So sp dot sp. This is okay. I know what's the issue here. So sp dot x index equals okay, sorry. Make part next equals pass in the place -1. And this is not the next, this is the previous one, so priv. So this one equals priv dot x index. So I updated the x and the y now. And priv dot y index. Okay, so this will update everything but the first one, right? Because I'm not using the one in 0. Now for the first one, so the first one should be acted upon the change in direction. So direction I will kind of use, okay, I'll do something like this. Okay, so we have the temp x, so let's put like next x equals 0, and okay, next x and change equals 0, and next y change equals 0. So we have here the x and the y. So what will happen is that the part in 0, okay, dot x index will change by the next exchange, and the parts in 0 dot y index will change with the next y change. Okay, now we want to define this change. So let's start with, we'll start it with 0, but actually let's do the x, it will be -1. Okay, now we have the parse and we have the free parse, and we're not going to use this thing. Okay, we don't need the temp X actually. Okay, we can just make it handle the change, because it will take the change from next X and the next Y. Now this is kind of nice. It's kind of confusing, I know, but the idea is that each step it will change the code into the next exchange, and this will work. I just want the snake when I begin to be in the same position, but actually, you know what? This will update it. I think. Let me see. No, I need to like build the snake from the beginning to work. So how would we do that? So let's go here, and we have here the parse, right? And they have their own location, and the thing is it's kind of hard to define exactly the position, okay, the position of the X and the Y. So let's do it like at the beginning. So in start, in here, let's just call this function setup, and I don't have it defined yet, and let me just create it. Okay, and here comes the setup, and I'll do something like this. First of all, I don't want to have any parse from outside. Okay, so I'll go to Unity, and I'll delete all these parts. Okay, and now the snake has no parts here, it's missing. And let me remove all of them. Now we built all the snake from code. And how would we build the snake from code? And we go for like on setup. So for, let's say for int I equals 0, I is smaller than 3, and I++, and this I will use this loop to add the free parse. So in order to create them, I need to have a pattern that I can instantiate. So I'll have here a snake part, and snake part ref. Okay, and I'll update it from Unity. So the snake part ref. So what I'll do, I'll just create it. Okay, so snake part ref. Don't instantiate. Sorry, I'll do a dot game object and instantiate. Sorry, something like this. So instantiate and make part ref, and if I'll put it like this, it will do the same thing. Okay, so for now I'll just instantiate it. I don't need to change position or anything, and I'll just call it a snake part temp equals instantiate. Now I will put let's say the dot x index equals to I, and the temp dot y index, I just put it to 0, and they are ready, and I'll just add them to the list. So I'll just do parse dot push, I believe, push or add. Okay, add, and I'll put the temp one. Okay, so it's added them to the list, and this will update the location. This will add them to the list, and the next time this function will be called, the start code, the coding, okay, it will move them. So these are a lot of assumptions. Let's see if it works. So I'm going back to Unity, and I'm looking here to see if there are any issues. Okay, temp Y says it's never used. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. And let me just run it and hope for the best. Okay, and again, this, I'm not sure why it's happening, maybe, okay. So, I'll pause for a second and I'll try to re-import everything. So let's see. This is taking a long time, already 20 minutes of this recording. Okay, so I'm pressing the play, and of course nothing happened. So this is a kind of point where your experience is very helpful, and ChatGPT will not help you with that actually. So I remember that I have here the snake, and the snake doesn't have a reference, so he can't create the pass, okay? And here we get the object you want to instantiate is null, which is it's a great error message. So to use that, we need the prefab, and we just take the snake part and put it right here. And maybe it will work now, maybe we'll just find another issue. So let's press the play, and look, this is pretty good, right? This is nice. Okay, so it's actually moving. It's really moving really nice, and I want to control the direction. So how will we do that? So in order to control the direction, so I'll have here the update right, and the update is currently empty. But let me use actually this code and use it to change the direction. And how would we do that? So I'll put everything here, though it's probably better to do it differently. So let's use a up arrow. So up arrow, I want to change it to move up, right? And how would we change the move up? We'll put the next one change to 1, and it's int. So no f is needed, and the next exchange to 0. Now this sounds really nice, right? But maybe I can't do it. Maybe if the snake is going down, I can make it move up. It has to turn, right? So how will we turn it? We'll change it by changing the next by checking it. So if the up arrow and end. So if up arrow and end, next y change equals 0. So this means that this is moving either left or right. So it's either turn left or right, so it's on up or down. So this is a good test for that. And let's just do all the other sides. So I'll just mark this, mark till here, so when I duplicate, pretty good, not great. So let's do else if up arrow, down arrow, and next one change is 0, and this one will be -1, and this one else if, and let's use the X, so the left arrow. So this is if you're pointing down or up, left arrow, and next exchange is 0. Great. So this one should be 0, and this one should be left, should be -1 for the X. And let me just copy, paste it really nice, and we just need to handle the right arrow. So right arrow, and next exchange is 0, and so right arrow will just put positive. Okay, and if we'll check, so if we're going up and no y change, okay, and next y change is 0, then it can turn up. And so, okay, I wouldn't explain that, just if you need you can pause and look at it for a minute, or just, write out. So let's have a look if this works. This can be really interesting and nice if it does. If it doesn't, that's okay. So let me start the game. Okay, and we have the snake, and now I'm pressing up, and it's going up, and left, it's going left, and down, it's going down, and right, it's going up, right. Really nice. Now, I love this. Now, what's really nice about it is that the keyboard is not activated immediately. Okay, what we do in the code, we use because we do it like here, we change the next Y change, but we don't do it right now. The next time that the coroutine is called, okay, and we handle the parse update, only then it uses the next exchange and the next Y change to change the part 0, and all the others just taking the last part position. This is actually pretty good code. This also means that the only thing we need to handle at each point is when changing the look is the tail and the head. And we'll do that later. But for now, this is great. Let's, I think I want to finish here, but before I'm doing that, I want to do it with a bit more of a parse. So let's start with 5 for now. Okay, so let's add 5 parts. So we can, maybe even 7, so we can see how the snakes move a bit better. Okay, so I'll go to Unity and I'll play it. Okay, and it's really nice, and I'm doing up, and then I can do like right, left, up, left. It's look really nice. Now, this square is pretty good, but why do we need all this like more sophisticated sprite? Why wouldn't we use the square? The reason is very simple, because if I'm trying to do something like this, it's really hard to understand when it's going, and I also think I have a bug here. No, I don't have a bug. Okay, but it's really hard to understand where the head and where the tail is. This. And actually got some kind of issue here. Okay. This is really interesting. So I have a bug actually. Look. So what happens if I'm like, okay, let's say I'm doing up, and then I'm doing right and down. Then I can actually, because I'm doing both changes in the same frame, I have no issue. I can update it. Okay, so let me see how to fix that. This is interesting, and I do want to finish with this video, but let me think. So what's happened here is I change it. Okay, and okay, so I change it, but I did 2 changes, so this part of the code was not tested. So I could make it go to this to the other direction, which is okay, and this is a bug. So how do I solve this? So I'm going to add 2 fields for that. I'm going to add the last exchange equals 0, and the last Y change equals 0. So how would I use these two? So first of all, let's just assume for a second that we have them updated. Okay, so the last exchange, okay, I can use it instead of the next Y change equals 0. I can use the last Y change again here, and here I'll use the last exchange. So the last exchange is actually the last, should be the last the next exchange from the last step. Okay, so I just need to update them where the next X or Y change really do update or being used, because this is updating them, but they are being used inside here, right? So if I'm using them inside here, I can just put last exchange equals next exchange, X is important, and the last Y change equals last Y change. So this is what I like about coding and about creating games. The small things about changing things inside, you know, just making things work. It's really interesting how to solve this problem. It's really a matter of thinking the right way and using your experience. So the last one change, let's just make sure this is the next Y change. And look, because Rider is great IDE, because it shows this in gray, because this is not changing anything. So I'll just put a next Y change, and I think this should work. So how would we know? We go back to Unity, and just play. Okay, so I'm going up and right and up and left. Okay, and I'm going down, and I'll try now to do a right and up real fast. And okay, it didn't work, right? Nice. Okay, now even if I'm trying to mix things out, I can't really do it. Of course, the one thing that doesn't get handled is if I get into a position where I already had a part before. So this is another test, and I'll probably do it in the next video. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate your patience, actually. Just looking, watching the video and seeing all the process, and I hope it's helpful. If it does, please like, comment, and let me know. Thank you very much.